So, now you understand the physical significance of gradient of a scalar function, not mathematical, physical. What does it mean? Mathematically you can verify it is a vector quantity, but what physically it tells? What is the meaning of gradient of a scalar function at a point? What the definition of gradient tells? Definition of gradient of a scalar function at a point means what? The scalar function may be anything, any physical quantity. It has direction, obviously it is vector. Yes, it is the direction along which the maximum rate of change of that scalar function occurs. It relates to the function, what function you are taking, right. So, if you take a, even if you take a surface, let us say this is a level surface. What do you mean by level surface? Any surface over which the value of the function remains same, right, that is called as a level surface. May be a plane, may be curve, may be anything, but if the value of the function remains as it is, not changing, then that function, that surface is a level surface, right. So, when I will tell this quantity, so can you tell the level function in case of an electric charge? Let us say there is a positive charge. So, whether there are level surfaces around it or not. If it is, then what that surface is? Reference to what quantity? Charge is there, obviously field is there, field lines are there, and many surfaces also you can think around it. But can there be level surfaces? If yes, then what quantity that surface will define? Let us say I will take a sphere, it is a surface, around it at a particular distance, let us say r. Can it be a level surface to define any scalar function of electric field? Obviously, it is within the electric field, but if you consider a sphere with a radius of r with respect to that point where the charge is lying, then what quantity that surface can imply, which is a scalar function. Which quantities are scalar in electric or electricity, that you know? Tell me a quantity which is scalar. Potential, right? Then intensity cannot be, right. So, now think if I will tell potential here, that surface, whether it can be a level surface or not, obvious, because there is no direction, everywhere magnitude is same, right. Everywhere magnitude is same on the surface because it is sphere. So, value of potential across the surface of that sphere remains constant, and hence it is in level surface. Level surface means that, right, any surface over which this scalar function does not change, it has same value, then only it can be considered to be a level surface. So, like that it is the scalar function potential which remains constant above the surface, and hence it is a level surface, right. But if it is in the field, let us say I will take a point here P on the surface, any point P, right. So, that point P is also associated with electric field intensity, right, that is a vector or not. At the same point P, you can tell potential as well as field intensity. Intensity is a vector, but potential is a scalar. So, then how to correlate potential with the intensity in terms of gradient? That is the question, and the significance of gradient, that you can understand from here, right. Potential is a scalar function and it has a definite value here, here, anywhere you can go, throughout it is constant, that is why it is a level surface. But when you tell the intensity, it is never same, because the direction varies from point to point. I cannot tell the intensity here at P is same as at Q, but potential must be same, right. And similarly, if it is R, again same, if it is S, again same, any point on the surface, potential remains same, but the intensity never remains same, and it is because of only direction. Because here the direction of intensity in this direction, if I will take a positive charge here, force is in this direction and intensity is also same direction. But if I will take the positive charge here, it is in this direction. So, then how they will be same? Magnitude may be same, but direction is different. So, the intensity is different, right. Magnitude of intensity here is same as here, but since direction changes, we cannot tell that the intensity is same everywhere. like potential, right. Potential is same because magnitude is same throughout, but when you think about the intensity, if you go from one point to another point on the surface, all the time direction is changing, all the time at any point. Therefore, the intensity is changing on the surface from point to point, but the potential does not change when you go from point to point on the same surface, out of which one is vector intensity and the other one is scalar. So, if you take this potential as a scalar function and intensity or E is a vector function, right, then there should be some relation that you can express in terms of gradient. Then how can you write that? What does it mean? That is the physical significance. How can you correlate electric field intensity at a point with the potential? You know that differentiation. What the differentiation is? Where is x here? There is no x here. Yes. So, I can tell the variation of potential with respect to r. Of course, I am writing r, that is why I am writing partial. You understand the meaning of partial, why I am writing? Because it has 3 variables x, y, z, right. V has a function of 3 coordinates x, y, z. So, then now can it be the gradient of potential at that point where you are thinking? You see, when you go from this point towards this point, what will be the rate of change? That you can find out, right. At every point you can tell how that potential is changing with respect to r. When r changes, potential changes, it is obvious, right. But when you are telling gradient, it is the maximum rate of change that you have to check. Then only you can know the direction of the gradient at that point, otherwise not, right. The change may occur, but where the maximum change occurs, in what direction the maximum change occurs, right. So, then how to get that direction here? Tell me what will the direction at the point P of the gradient at that point, gradient of potential V at this point P. You know the definition of gradient, scalar function or field, vector field, clear. Potential is vector field, intensity is potential is scalar function, intensity is vector function, and you know understand the meaning of intensity and potential on the surface also, right. But if you write the intensity at that point, same point, any point it may be on the surface, then it cannot be a scalar function, it must be a vector function. Then how to express the vector function in terms of scalar function? The only way is the gradient, no alternative way out. If you take the gradient of scalar function at that point, it must be a vector at that point, and that is the gradient, gradient of scalar function potential at that point. Then obviously it has direction, because gradient of a scalar function is a vector, right. Then what the direction will be at that point P? How will you get that point? Yes, what will you do? You have to see in what direction its value is maximum, but how to know that, in what direction, how to proceed for that? You have to see something is changing. If it is changing in this direction, in this direction, in this direction, then you can know, yes, in this direction it is maximum, not in others. Then how to know, how to proceed? Let me tell one thing, what do you mean by dV here? Change in potential, right. If let us say I will take a small element here, let that element is dl length, infinitesimally small around that point P, right, around that point P. So, if you take an infinitesimal small length dl around that point P where you want to find out the gradient, then how can you write the variation of potential in this direction along the tangent, whether it is changing or not? If you go from one point to another point through that distance dl, is it changing or remains constant? You know it is a level surface. So, what should be your dV? 0, because there is no change, it remains constant, and derivative of any constant is 0, right. But again, how can you write this dV? dV is a scalar function. How can you express that scalar function in terms of two vectors? Dot product of two vectors is a scalar, right. Dot product of two vectors is a scalar. but how to write that? Suppose I will tell, let the variation of intensity in that length dl is what? dE or not? With respect to that distance dl, there is a change in intensity and let that be dE. Direction changes, hence vector changes, right? And if I will tell, let us say it is multiplied by dl, am I getting the same thing, right? Dot product of two vector is a scalar and that is your dV, right. So, now tell when this value will be maximum, theta will tell, right, when that value will be maximum. Hence, change in that direction is maximum. Change in that direction means what? You are going along this L or not? L vector is taken in this direction. Let us say you are starting from here going in this direction tangentially over that length. This is your dl vector or not? dl vector is the vector along tangential direction to that point on the curve of length dl, right. And what is this dE? Variation of electric field intensity over that length dl, right. And you can express this dl and dE in its component form, that you know, right, in terms of x, y and z directions, because it is in space, right. You can write. Then according to that, what it basically tells, suppose I will write it is nothing but equal to dE dl cos theta, right, dot product, and these two are magnitudes only. Now tell if this is maximum change when I can tell, if I will write dV by dl maximum, right, then what does it mean? You take this dl here, then take its maximum value, then when it will be maximum? Only when theta is 0. Now tell what is the direction? You know the value of angle theta. What is the theta? Angle between these two, right. What is the angle at this point of E? Obviously this direction, E, electric field intensity, and similarly if you go from one point to another point, that direction also changes, that is dE vector. That is why it is written dE vector. Vector is changing within that length dl, right. Vector is changing within that length dl. Then, so then what this theta is? Obviously you can tell this is your angle theta, right. The angle between dl vector and dE vector. E vector is all the time radially outward, any point it may be, right. If you come to this point, here what is the intensity direction? Radially outward, here also radially outward, here also radially outward, here also radially outward, everywhere, right. So, that is the direction of E, or you can tell if its length is small, it is dE, right. When you take smaller length, infinitesimally small, that is coming to a point and the direction is that, right. So, that is the direction of the dE vector. Then what is your dl vector? Tangent to the curve at that point, that is the direction of the dl vector, right. So, dl vector direction is known, dE vector direction is known and theta is known obviously, right. So, what is the angle theta now? Angle between this and dl vector direction, right. Then now it can be maximum, this is maximum only when you can write dE cos theta is maximum, otherwise not possible, right. This is maximum only when this is maximum or not. If I write maximum this side, that side should be also maximum. Then when it will be maximum? It only depends on the value of theta, because d is not changing, it is infinitesimally small change in field intensity. So, if it is changing, it is because of cos theta factor, and if cos theta is maximum only when theta will be 0 degree, right, only when theta is 0 degree. Now tell what is the direction of this gradient, that is the gradient at that point, understand or not? What is the direction then? When theta will be 0, because you are travelling on the path dl on the surface, right. So, when theta will be 0, it has maximum value, and that is the gradient of that scalar function at that point. The maximum rate of change of potential at that point is the gradient of potential at that point. So, if now you will tell that dV by dl maximum is only possible when theta equal to 0, then what is the direction of this vector which you tell as the gradient of the potential at that point, whether in this direction or in dl direction? Two directions are there, right. One is d direction, another is dl direction, but it cannot be both because it is a vector. So, it has only one direction, and what is that direction? And obviously, tells theta is 0 means any one, right. Theta is 0 means these two vector must be either going in e direction or going in dl direction, then only theta can be 0. Two possibilities are there, but cannot be, it will be only one. Gradient of a scalar function is a vector, it has only one direction, but when you are telling theta is 0, it implies there are two directions, right. Theta may happen if you take dl in this direction may be 0 or d in this direction is also 0 or not. You can make theta 0 by two ways. If you take field intensity in this direction, it may be 0, or if you take the displacement in that direction also it will be 0. But can these two values possible? As per the problem given here, which is feasible, which has meaning to understand intensity and potential. Along d vector, E will be in this direction. I told you the problem. Problem is this. Here we tell what will be theta, so that you will have maximum value. Theta is 0 obviously, right? Theta is 0, but what should be the direction? Along? Yes. Understand? Along what direction? D vector means in that direction. Now think, if you will go in this direction, tangential direction, what will happen? Can it be variation of potential with respect to time, length, whether the meaning is same or different? It is varying with respect to length, be careful. dl is the length, right. Potential is changing with respect to length. Which length? This length over the surface, right. Then if you are telling that it is along that direction, does it telling the same thing? Mathematically you may correct, right. Mathematically you may correct, but physically does it giving the same meaning? Variation of potential with respect to length. How can you vary that potential so that it has a maximum value? Maximum value only when theta is 0, right. Maximum value will be there only when there is theta will be 0. So, now you judge judiciously and tell what should be the direction of this variation of potential with respect to length on the surface is maximum. That will give you the direction. In what direction that will change? Or if, let us say you do not think about the magnitude part, right, because you know that the magnitude is not changing. Scalar function, its value is not changing with respect to length also, it is same, right. On the surface the value of the potential is not changing, that is why it is a level surface, right. So, when you are writing dV by dl, what does it mean? There is no change of potential and you are writing variation of potential with respect to length. How much it will be? This V is constant or not? We are taking a level surface, so V is constant, then where is the question of variation? There is no change. So, obviously, that tells it should be 0, right. Now, you think whether you have written theta value 0 is correct or wrong, wrong, right. If theta is 90, then only it is feasible, right, cannot be 0. Understand the physical problem. As per physics, you know this is a quantity variation of potential with respect to length on the surface, and you know now how it is varying with respect to length. Is there any change or any variation? No change. So, what is the meaning of this thing then? 0. With respect to that you think physically, right. This is correct because there is no variation in potential across the length on the surface. So, that tells this variation of potential with respect to length maximum value or minimum value has no meaning and it is all the time 0, right. So, now the question comes, if it is 0, then what will be your theta? You see, d cannot be 0, right, it has some value, even if it is small length, it has some magnitude, it cannot be 0, then it is 0 only for this factor cos theta, right. So, if it is 0, then because of cos theta it can be 0, and that is only possible when theta is 90 degree or not, only when theta will be 90 degree. So, do not confuse with this angle, I am just trying to understand what is the difference in 0 angle and 90 angle and where the physical significance lies. Both are mathematically correct, right, both are mathematically correct, but physically only one is correct, and you have to find out what that is, which is called as the gradient, right. So, when I am telling, you see, when I will tell in yes. So, now tell, if theta is 90, then what is the direction, whether it is perpendicular to dl or along dl, because we are travelling across the path dl, the variation is along dl, potential is changing along dl, right, potential is changing along dl. We have taken this is the path dl vector, because dl is not a path now, it is a vector, right. If I will tell, right, for example, if I will tell this is a path, but any infinitesimal small path is never a scalar, it is a vector, right. Path may be scalar, but if you divide it into infinitesimal small segments, that segment can never be a scalar, because that part, smallest part, whatever it may be, is associated with some direction, that is why it is vector, that is why dl is a vector, but length is not a vector, remember it. If I will tell length of the path, it is never vector, but infinitesimally small length is all the time vector, right. Infinitesimally small path is a vector, but simply path is never a vector. So, length is not a vector, but dl is a vector, because that will tell in what direction you are moving, whether you are going in this direction or you are coming in this direction. Two possibilities are there, but it is a vector. It has to tell whether you are coming in this direction or in that direction, that is your dl vector. Then the potential variation with respect to that dl or length is maximum when it will be maximum value, because you know along this path again the potential is not changing, that is also true, right. Along the path dl, whatever small it may be, along that path your potential is changing or remains constant. If you take a small segment here dl, along that segment whether your potential is changing or remains constant, constant, it is a level surface, the scalar quantity potential is all throughout same, right. So, if you take a small length, that is also same, does not matter it is small or big, but throughout the surface wherever you may travel from one to another point, what is the change in potential? No change, everywhere it is constant or not, no change, everywhere it is constant, and that is the reason why you are telling it is a level surface. So, when you move from one point to the another point, wherever these 2 points may be on the surface, there is no change of potential, right. In any direction you may move again, whether you may go in this direction, that direction, any direction, does not matter, but there is no change in potential, because it is a level surface, right. Direction does not matter here, you may go in any direction, but the potential never changes. So, if it is not changing, then what is the change of potential with respect to that length which we are considering? We are considering a small length around that point where you want to get the gradient, because gradient is all the time associated with a point, right. Then only we will know the direction at that point, otherwise it has no meaning. right? Gradient of a scalar function at a point means that length whatever you have considered here is around that small length. So, dl if you take change in length there is change no doubt, but when you are telling V potential across that length dl no change or not, across the length dl there is no change of potential. dl may be big small that does not matter, and any 2 point on the surface does not matter, because throughout the surface you take any 2 point the potential is same. You may go in this direction, that direction, any direction, direction does not matter, right. So, if you are either coming, for example, I will take this length here, let us say dl, if I will go in this direction or I am going in this direction, potential changes or remain same? Same. So, direction matters or not? No, does not matter. But when you are telling that dl is taken in this direction, you should have to think only in that direction, because dl vector is a direction. Whether you are taking this or that, you have to decide, not both. Both cannot be vector. Both direction can never be a vector, either this direction or that direction, right. So, if I will tell the starting point is here, let us say A, and the closing point is here B for that length dl, right. So, if I write dl, then I cannot write dl is equal to no doubt AB, right. dl is equal to AB now, but if I will tell dl vector, I have to tell whether it is A to B or B to A. It has different meaning, because you are already associating this with a direction. So, when it is a vector, then if you write A B vector, it is never equal to B A vector again, although the magnitude is same, right. Magnitude is not same, magnitude is not same because of direction, the vector is not same, magnitude is same, but vector is not same because of direction only. So, if this is the situation, then you have to choose only one direction for this dl vector. So, what is that direction? Let that be in this direction dl vector. You are coming from A to B, right. You are coming in this path, that is representing the dl vector, and at this point corresponding to that length, if you take it is infinitesimal small length, what will happen to the intensity E? Infinitesimal small means what? It can be approximated to a point, right, 0 dimension. The length can be compressed to a length 0, approximated to be 0, not 0 exactly, but tends to 0 limit, right. So, when it tends to 0, obviously you are getting a point, right. That length or the electric field intensity when tends to 0 approaches to 0, then you are getting that point where you want to get the gradient. Then if you are going to that point P in between A and B, then what about this dE vector? It is constant or variable? Sorry, I am telling the direction part, forget about magnitude part, right. You assume it that the direction is remaining constant during that length, right. Direction of this vector is fixed, it is not changing, although it is really changing, but the length is so small that we are considering that there is no change in direction within that length. Then obviously you can tell now the direction is here or not, direction of dE vector will be that. So, dE vector is in this direction, dl vector is in this direction, ultimately the angle will be 90, obvious, because tangent all the time makes 90 degree with the radius or radial vector, right. So, if the theta is 90, then what it tells? That dE vector and dl vector are perpendicular to each other, right. So, then if this is a vector, then if it is perpendicular, you are moving in this path, you are going in which path? You are travelling in the path dl, right. So, at what point it will have maximum change, rate of change? Change means what? Maximum rate of change will occur where? Because dl is consisting of many points, right. Suppose for example, this is your dl, here, 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 many points are there. You are going from point to point, point to point, and there is a change of potential if you consider the direction for this gradient quantity. Gradient is a vector quantity, right. Potential is not a vector, but gradient of potential across the length is a vector, right. Gradient of potential at the point means what? The rate of change of potential with respect to that length where you are travelling along the same path dl will be maximum where then? Where it will be maximum? Now, actually now I leave you in a confusing state knowingly, right. Knowingly I leave you with a confusing state to understand what do you mean by gradient, right. I told two angles 0 and 90, region also told, but the definition of gradient is not both same, different. You have to find out what is the real definition of gradient, where there will be maximum rate of change of potential, whether it is in this direction, in d direction or in dl direction. It can be only one. dl direction means in this direction is the this vector, this one is your vector, na, gradient, that you call as the gradient at this point. You mean that gradient is all the time at a point, right. We have considered a point on that length dl. So, if you find the gradient at that point P, then what is the direction of this gradient? You know the meaning of gradient at that point. So, find out and tell what is the direction.
There will be no change in r, right?
R is not changing because the length is very small. R everywhere is fixed.
Yes,
it is sphere,
yes, sir.
right.
So, why there will be like the gradient of potential will be a null vector, right?
That I leave you, I leave it to you. I told everything. What do you mean by gradient? What do you mean by variation of potential? What do you mean by across what it is changing, right?
Sir, it should be a null vector because
Then that does not matter. Null vector is also a vector having direction. That direction I want, the direction I want may be a null vector, but it has direction. You cannot tell there is no direction, right. Specifically for this case, you cannot tell it has no direction. Magnitude may be 0, right, but what about the direction? Can you take any direction? No, cannot, because electric field intensity is only having one direction at that point. So, how it can be many? Arbitrary, right. As per mathematical definition, you can tell 0 vector is a vector with arbitrary direction, any direction you can choose, right. But when you are telling E vector, then what is this E vector? It has only one direction or many? Then now you tell me what will be the value of E in terms of this gradient. We want intensity there, right, at that point. At that point we want to get the intensity, but in terms of variation of potential with respect to length. E is a vector, it is not scalar, right. Then if I will tell why, you see when I am writing this value, what is this dV? It is dot product of dE and dl, you are taking only magnitude part. So, you are writing dV by dl variation of potential with respect to length, but ultimately you are getting a vector, right. Potential is a scalar, length is also scalar, variation of potential with respect to length is also scalar, but at what direction it is maximum, that will tell you the direction of E, right. This dV is a scalar or vector? Scalar. dl is also scalar, variation of potential with respect to that length is also scalar, but when you are writing it is maximum, it has direction and that is your E at that point. So, now you have to tell what direction is that he will tell you intensity at this point. Now, you can try to understand, right. If this is the surface, can the direction of intensity be in this direction? Cannot, because it is all the time radially outward, or not. The electric field intensity at this point is in what direction? In this direction only, cannot be in this direction, right. The direction of E is well defined at that point. Now, you know the direction, now correlate this direction, right. You know the direction, because the intensity vector is expressed in terms of gradient which has direction, and you know the direction of this E, right. You know the direction of this E at that point, but how to correlate this direction with this gradient? It has direction, that has direction, and both must be same, right, both must be same. Then if it is same, obviously it tells that the gradient of that must be in what direction? Radially outward or not? It must be radially outward. Then how to write mathematically? Physically you understand now, because the direction must be same, otherwise the relation cannot be valid, and you are writing E in terms of E also, right. You are expressing intensity in terms of potential. Well established relations are there, right. Then how can you write mathematically what is that E vector? Obviously it is related with gradient, right. Obviously that is related to gradient. Then what that means? How can I write? Can I write here that it is dV by dl? No, because it is scalar, but this side is a vector, right. This side, right hand side, if I write rate of change of potential with respect to length, then I am wrong, because a vector cannot be a scalar, vector must be a vector, right. That is why you are telling here is a maximum value. Why maximum? Because that tells the direction, right. You are writing maximum means that tells the direction, in what direction that rate of change is maximum, then it has meaning, right. Then it has meaning, this side vector, that side also vector. But if I write this thing, whether I am wrong or correct, you decide from this relation. E vector is equal to dV by dl maximum, correct. Obviously it tells both, it tells about the direction as well as magnitude, and that may be or may not be, but it is a vector. Right hand side is a vector, left hand side is also vector, left hand side is intensity, right hand side is the gradient, right. So, the electric field intensity can be expressed in terms of gradient of potential at that point, right. Electric field intensity at a point can be expressed as the gradient of potential at that point, same point, because at that point you have intensity, you have potential also, right. At the same point you have both intensity and potential, one is vector, other is scalar. So, you have to write that scalar function in terms of a vector, that is the only way by which you can write is the gradient, right. Gradient of potential can be a vector. So, hence direction is associated, right. Hence the direction must be associated. Therefore, if I write E is equal to gradient of the scalar function potential when it is maximum, then it is satisfied or not. It is satisfying the equality, vector can be a vector, and you know the direction of E at this point, right. So, obviously it tells that this direction must be along the same direction, because direction cannot be differing, otherwise they cannot be same or not. Two vectors can be equal only when magnitude and direction are both equal. So, what it indicates? Direction of E must be equal to direction of this. So, that tells the variation of potential along what direction it is maximum? This direction, and that is the intensity at that point, and that is the intensity direction at that point. So, when you are relating vector to scalar, it is only way gradient, right. Any vector, you see, like that also you can take any potential with any intensity, gravitational field intensity with gravitational potential, magnetic field intensity with magnetic potential, electric field intensity with electric potential, same thing, right. Similar thing, similar situation. So, to correlate intensity, which is a vector, with a scalar field potential is the only relation established by gradient. That is the importance of gradient, right. That is the importance of gradient. By no other way you can write that, only way is the gradient. Therefore, you have to understand what that gradient means, because a scalar can be expressed as a vector. So, you have to understand the direction, and that is only given by the gradient, right. That is only given by the gradient. Gradient of a scalar function is a vector, right. So, that is the physical significance. Try to understand it carefully. What does it mean? What is gradient of a scalar function at a point? whether it is a vector or scalar. Obviously, vector, mathematically it is verified. So, you justify it physically, right, justify it physically so that you can understand what does it mean, right. So, this is about the gradient of a scalar function. Ultimately, you know the meaning of gradient of a scalar function at a point, right, and that is a vector quantity. So, if you will, I am giving just an example, you can try to solve it here so that you can understand. You write a function f of x y z is x square y cube plus z fourth, function of x y z, right, function of f of x y and z is given as x square plus y cube plus z fourth, right, this is the function. So, obviously, you can tell it is scalar or vector function, scalar function like potential. Their level surface it is not, but general case is yes, right. In case of electric potential you cannot write this because it is all throughout constant for level surface, right, but it is a general function which is scalar, right. Then so find the gradient of this function, understand, find the gradient of this function which is scalar, right, it is a scalar function, find the gradient of this function f x y z. How will you get it?
3y square j cap plus 4z cube a.
Understand now? What does it mean? It is a vector or scalar? Vector. And you know that what is that gradient vector, right. Like that any scalar function can be converted to a vector only by grade operation, right, only by grade operation, and that is the significance of gradient, right. Then next, if I will tell the del operator, you know about it, right, it is an operator, unless it operates on some function it has no meaning, right, simply operator has no meaning. So, when it operates on a function it has meaning, like I will write gradient of potential, it has meaning, right, but simply I will write this operator has no meaning, no physical significance, like that. If I will write now, let that be this, is it an operation or not? Operation, definitely, you know the meaning of these two, del vector and del is a vector or scalar operator, it is a vector operator, remember it, right, it is a vector operator. So, when this vector operator is operating on a vector in this way, the result will be a scalar, right, and that operation is called as divergence, that operation is called as divergence. Then what is the physical significance of divergence? Mathematically you understand, right, you can find out the magnitude, but what does it mean, what it tells physically, how much it will be? If mathematically if you find, then it is x cap del by del x, y cap del by del y, then z cap del by del z dot x cap v x, y cap v y, z cap v z, right. Then find out the product, it is scalar or vector? Scalar, right, and that is called as the divergence. In physics language you are telling it is a divergence of what? Of a vector field or scalar field? Vector field, remember you can never write scalar. Divergence of a scalar has no meaning, it is meaningless, like gradient of scalar has meaning, but gradient of vector has meaningless, cannot be, right. So, then how much you will get here? Del V x by del x plus del V y by del y plus del V z by del z, which is scalar, correct. So, now this operation of the del operator is nothing but the divergence of the vector field V at some point, obviously. Remember all the time when you are telling divergence, grade, curl, all the time associated with a point in the field, otherwise it is no, it has no meaning. Like gradient I told at a point, similarly divergence at a point, curl at a point. Then what is the meaning of this divergence of a vector field V at a point? What does it mean? Mathematically you understand now, right? This is the mathematical representation of divergence of a vector field V, which has three components V x, V y, V z along three directions x, y and z respectively, right. But what is the significance, physical significance? What does it tell? The meaning is divergence means what? How it how the you tell the field intensity or field is diverging. You know, diverging and converging, two things are there. Diverging means goes away from a point, converging means comes to a point, right. Let us say, for example, I will take here a point charge q plus q, then I am representing now the field lines, right. But many are there, I am just showing few representations, all directions it is there. I have drawn only 4, you can draw infinite number, no limit, but all are field lines, right. So, if now let us say I will take a surface sphere around it, charge is there inside covered by a sphere, right. Then what will happen to these flux lines? It will come out, it will diverge or converge. If it is positive, diverge, if negative, converge, right. That depends on the nature of the charge. If it is positive charge, it must go radially outward, but if it is negative charge, converge inward. Only difference is that, right. So, for example, if on the surface I will take a point, infinitesimally small area, right, take small area, then approximate that to 0, ultimately you are reaching to a point or not. Take an infinitesimally small area on the surface and go on reducing that area to a point, right. So, when it is reduced to a point, at that point how much flux is radiating out? If you know, that is the divergence of the vector field at that point, right. That is the divergence of a vector field at that point. So, now tell whether it has magnitude or not. Obviously, that is mathematically defined, right. Mathematically you have calculated, this is the divergence of a vector at that point. So, it has magnitude, right. Then can I put the direction here? No, cannot, because it is scalar, it tells only magnitude, but what that tells, how many flux lines. You understand flux? Flux is scalar or vector? Scalar. Number of field lines is scalar, right. Flux lines crossing through unit area at that point, outward, radially outward if it is positive, or inward if it is negative. You take the whole area, find out from unit area, right. How much radially or how much radial flux is going out per unit area, that is a number, hence scalar, right. And that is the divergence of a vector field at that point. The field may be electric, may be magnetic, may be gravitational, whatever it may be, right. What kind of field you are considering? It is gravitational field, electric field or magnetic field, it is common, similar, right. Then you can take the example also there in the book. If you are standing on the bank of a pond, right, you are standing on the bank of a pond, water is there, right. So, if you put some sawdust on the surface of the water, what will happen? Sawdust. You are on the shore of the pond and some sawdust you are throwing to the pond. How will you decide? Who will decide? How will you decide? Understand the question? You are on the bank of a pond and throwing some sawdust to the water. What will happen? Various questions may come to your mind, but if I will put all these dust powders at one point, what may happen? Not spreading, just putting at one point, few dusts at one point. Then what will happen to that dust? Particles, sawdust, which you can visualize. If it is spreading in all possible radial outward direction, then you can tell there is divergence of velocity of water right? Divergence of velocity of water at that point. Velocity is a vector quantity, that is the meaning of divergence. Of what quantity? Velocity of water. Velocity of water must go in that direction, otherwise it can never spread in that way, right? Otherwise it can never spread in that way. So, it tells if divergence of a vector can be two things, positive and negative, right? Positive and negative. Here it is positive if positive charge, but if you take negative, negative, right? So, if it is positive, then it implies, remember, divergence of a vector is if positive, then it tells that there must be a source within that surface. It creates the flux field lines, but if it is negative, then there must be a sink. So, the meaning of this is that if divergence of a vector field is positive, that tells that there is a source which creates the field lines, but if it is negative, there is a sink, right? The field lines are coming to that point. Same thing you imagine, you are standing nearby the pond and you are spreading the dust, but it is coming to a point. What does it mean? The velocity of water is taking them to a point, and there it is treated to be a sink, right. So, this will tell you whether there is a source or there is a sink, just like heat, source, sink. Sink takes the heat, source spreads the heat, but here that is field lines. So, that will tell you if the divergence of vector field is positive, it tells that there must be a source. Source may be a magnet creating magnetic field, may be a charge creating electric field, may be a mass creating gravitational field. But if it is negative, then obviously it is sink, it take out the field lines to that point. But remember, if it will be 0, then what will happen? It may happen that it will be 0. What does it tell? Positive is source, negative is sink. If 0, then possible or not? First question. Divergence of a vector field can be 0 or not. What does it mean?
Uniform velocity vector.
No. If radially field lines are coming out through a point, then only you can tell it is positive or negative. But when not coming, then where is the question of divergence? What do you mean by that? You see, at a point either it is inward or outward, field lines should cross through that, but if it is not crossing, then only it is 0. 0 means what? Neither it goes out nor it comes in, right? Does it has meaning? No. So, either source or sink, that you can predict out of this operation divergence of a vector field, right. So, similarly you try for the curl, it is just cross, right. Try yourself, I will solve only numericals next time with divergence and curl.